Have you ever had one of those mornings where you wake up, stretch a little, and then pause, just for a second, wondering when your body started feeling different? Maybe your knees don't quite bend the way they used to. Maybe your balance isn't as steady. Or maybe it's something you can't quite put your finger on, but deep down, you feel like something's shifted. That feeling? You're not imagining it. And you're definitely not alone. Getting older brings wisdom, perspective, and yes, some changes. And while many of those changes are natural and completely manageable, some can quietly slip under the radar and affect your health in ways you might not expect. Not because you've done anything wrong, but simply because no one told you what to watch out for. In today's video, I want to talk to you like a good friend. The kind who pulls you aside gently and says, "Hey, here are a few things you might want to look out for." We're going to explore 5 hidden risks that often come with aging, and more importantly, how to avoid them, so you can keep living life fully, joyfully, and with confidence. Let's start with something that doesn't get nearly enough attention: the risk of muscle loss, also known as sarcopenia. It sounds like a big, scary word, but really, it just means that our muscles naturally shrink and weaken over time if we're not actively using them. This doesn't happen overnight, and most people don't even notice it until something small, like struggling to open a jar or getting winded climbing stairs, starts to become a regular thing. The truth is, after the age of 60, we can lose as much as 3% of our muscle mass each year if we're not careful. And that can quietly lead to bigger issues: less strength, slower walking, more fatigue, even increased risk of falling. But here's the good news: you're not powerless against it. Gentle strength training, even just using your own body weight or light resistance bands, can help rebuild and protect those muscles. And no, you don't need a gym membership or fancy equipment. You just need consistency and a little bit of patience. I met a lovely gentleman recently, Richard, who started doing chair exercises in his living room at age 72. At first, he thought it was too easy to make a difference, but within weeks, he noticed his legs felt stronger, and getting out of his recliner wasn't the same struggle anymore. That's what I mean when I say small steps can bring real change. Now, let's talk about another sneaky risk that often flies under the radar: dehydration. You might think, "Oh, I drink when I'm thirsty, I'm fine." But here's the catch: as we age, our sense of thirst becomes less reliable. That means our bodies could be running low on water long before we even feel thirsty. And when we're even mildly dehydrated, it can affect everything from our energy levels to our mood, digestion, and even our balance. Imagine standing up quickly and feeling a little lightheaded, or realizing you're unusually tired halfway through the day. Sometimes, it's not your age, it's your hydration. Drinking enough water isn't just a summer thing, and it's not about chugging 8 glasses a day like clockwork. It's about being mindful. Keep water nearby. Sip throughout the day. Add a slice of lemon or a few cucumber slices if that helps. Herbal teas count too. And if you're taking medications, especially diuretics, it's even more important to stay ahead of hydration needs. There's a woman I know, Linda, 68, who used to feel foggy and tired most afternoons. She blamed it on age, until one of her friends suggested she try drinking a glass of water before every meal and carry a bottle with her. Within a week, she said it was like a curtain had lifted. Sometimes, the simplest fixes are the most powerful. Now that we've looked at muscle loss and dehydration, let's gently ease into one more hidden risk, one that doesn't show up in the mirror but can have just as much of an impact: social isolation. I know, this one's hard to talk about. Life changes. Friends move. Family gets busy. And before we know it, the days get quieter. Loneliness can sneak in even when we're surrounded by people, because it's not about how many folks are around, it's about how connected we feel. And here's the part that really matters: chronic loneliness isn't just emotional. It can actually affect our physical health, raising the risk of heart disease, weakening our immune system, and even contributing to cognitive decline. But this isn't about pointing fingers or making anyone feel bad. It's about shining a light on something that deserves attention. Reaching out to someone, joining a local walking group, calling an old friend, or even chatting with neighbors, it all counts. You don't have to wait for a perfect opportunity. Sometimes, the smallest act of connection is the first step toward feeling truly alive again. I once spoke to a widower who joined a community gardening club just to fill his mornings. What he didn't expect was how quickly those new friendships started to lift his spirits. He told me, "I thought I was just planting tomatoes. Turns out, I was planting joy back into my life." So, if you've been feeling a little more alone than you'd like, know this: there are people out there who would love to talk to you, laugh with you, share stories over coffee. And sometimes, all it takes is a hello. There's another risk that doesn't get the spotlight it deserves, and yet, it touches so many people as they age. It's something that can creep in slowly, disguised as forgetfulness or just being tired. But left unchecked, it can affect everything from your memory to your ability to make decisions. I'm talking about nutrient deficiencies, particularly the ones that tend to slip through the cracks, like vitamin D, B12, calcium, and magnesium. Now, you might be thinking, "But I eat pretty well, I take my multivitamin, how could I be low in anything?" And it's a fair question. The truth is, as we age, our bodies don't absorb nutrients the same way they used to. Changes in digestion, medications, even reduced appetite can all quietly chip away at the nourishment we need. Vitamin B12, for instance, is crucial for keeping your brain sharp and your nerves functioning well, but absorption declines significantly after 60. Calcium and vitamin D? Essential for keeping your bones strong. Without them, even a small fall could turn into a major injury. Magnesium helps with everything from sleep to muscle function. When it's lacking, you might feel more anxious, stiff, or restless at night without knowing why. One gentleman I spoke with, Jim, 71, told me he had been feeling foggy and sluggish for months. His doctor finally ran a blood test and found his B12 levels were far too low. A few weeks after starting a supplement, he felt like himself again. And that's the thing, sometimes it's not age that's slowing us down, it's what our body's missing. The best step you can take here is to stay curious. If you're feeling unusually tired, forgetful, or just off, don't chalk it up to getting older too quickly. Ask your doctor to check your nutrient levels. Adjust your diet or add a supplement if needed. And remember, food is fuel, but only if your body can absorb it properly. Now, there's one final risk we need to talk about, and this one might surprise you. It's something that doesn't make headlines, but it affects millions of people every day. And it often goes unnoticed until it causes real problems. That hidden risk is balance decline. You might notice it in little ways. Reaching for something on a high shelf and feeling a little unsteady. Getting out of bed and needing a second to find your footing. Maybe you've had a near fall, or you know someone who has. Here's the truth: after 60, our sense of balance starts to change. The inner ear becomes less sensitive. Our muscles aren't firing as quickly. Even small vision changes can throw off our coordination. And yet, we often don't work on balance until we fall. But what if we flipped that script? What if we trained for balance the same way we walk or stretch or lift? It doesn't have to be complicated. Standing on one foot while brushing your teeth. Taking a Tai Chi class at the community center. Practicing slow, deliberate movements when walking or climbing stairs. These small practices strengthen not just your legs, but your brain's ability to keep you upright and confident. I once met a woman named Helen, who told me she hadn't realized how much her balance had slipped until she nearly tripped over her garden hose. That moment scared her. But instead of pulling back, she leaned in. She started doing short balance exercises each morning, holding onto the counter while lifting one foot, then the other. Just a few minutes a day. Now, she moves around her home with renewed confidence. And that's the beauty of awareness. Once we know where the hidden risks are, we can start doing something about them. We don't need to live in fear. We just need to stay informed, stay gentle with ourselves, and take small, steady steps in the right direction. Maybe this is the first time you've thought about your hydration levels. Or maybe you've been putting off that vitamin D test, or wondering why your footing doesn't feel as secure as it used to. Whatever it is, this isn't about blaming ourselves, it's about empowering ourselves. Because the more we understand our bodies, the more freedom we actually gain. Freedom to keep gardening, traveling, laughing, dancing, and enjoying the life we've worked so hard to build. And I hope this conversation has sparked something in you, a reminder that aging doesn't mean fading. It means shifting, adapting, listening to our needs with kindness, not criticism. And when we do that, we don't just avoid hidden risks, we invite in more vitality, more ease, and more joy. So here we are, just you and me, having taken a good, honest look at the things that can quietly sneak up on us as we grow older. Not to scare anyone. Not to say, hey, you've been doing it wrong. But to say, you deserve to know these things, because your health and happiness matter. We've talked about how muscle loss doesn't have to be a given. We've seen how something as simple as staying hydrated can change how you feel from the moment you wake up. We've looked at how loneliness isn't just about being alone, it's about how deeply we feel connected to others. And then there's nutrition, not just what we eat, but what our bodies are actually absorbing. Finally, we explored balance, that quiet strength we often forget about until we feel ourselves wobble. And as we've walked through all of that together, I hope you've felt one thing above all else: possibility. Because each of these risks is not a dead end. They're simply a nudge. A whisper from your body saying, pay attention here. I need a little help. And that's something beautiful. Because it means there's still more you can do. And not in a pressure-filled, overwhelming way, but in small, doable, hopeful ways. Maybe today, it means going for a slow walk and noticing how your legs feel. Maybe it means dusting off that water bottle and keeping it within reach. Maybe it's picking up the phone and calling someone who makes you smile. Or writing a note to ask your doctor about checking your B12 levels. Or simply standing on one foot while you brush your teeth, just to start training that balance. None of it needs to be big. What matters most is that it's intentional. That it's for you. Because here's the thing, aging isn't about decline. It's about refinement. You've made it through so many seasons of life, raising kids, working hard, navigating loss, celebrating love. Your body has carried you through all of it. And now? Now it's just asking you to care for it a little differently. Not with frustration, but with patience. Not with fear, but with love. And I want to remind you, if there's one takeaway from this video, it's this: you are not too old, too late, or too far gone to take control of your health. There is always something you can do. Always a step forward you can take. So if this video spoke to you, if even one thing felt like it hit home, I'd love to hear about it. Share your thoughts in the comments. Tell me what resonated. Share your story. And know that when you do, you're not just helping yourself, you might just inspire someone else who needed to hear your words today. If you know a friend or family member who could benefit from this video, send it to them. Sometimes these quiet conversations, shared over email or during a cup of coffee, are what help us all stay connected and informed. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. This channel is here for you. Every video is crafted with care, with compassion, and with the belief that growing older should feel like a gift, not a burden. We'll keep exploring ways to stay strong, to feel better, to live with more joy and less worry. Because you deserve that. And you don't have to figure it out alone. I believe in you. Truly. Whether you're 60, 70, 80, or beyond, you still have so much to give, so much to experience, and so many reasons to care for yourself with kindness. So go ahead, pour that glass of water, step outside and breathe in the morning air, stretch your arms toward the sky. Your body may have changed, yes. But your spirit? That's still yours. Still strong. Still vibrant. Here's to living fully. To staying curious. To protecting your health not with fear, but with wisdom. Take care of yourself today. You matter. And I'm so glad you're here.